The idea, if you could wave a magic wand and fix a problem, if you could wave a magic wand and make one change, if you could wave a magic wand and complete one project, what would that be?
Wave a magic wand, it would be to solve the school funding issue. So and even explain how we receive school funding, whether it's federally or state or local. It's so complex and it's so unpredictable. And I feel like during the legislative session, we're kind of like a hare in a hailstorm and just wondering how it's going to impact schools for the next school year. And we wonder and we worry about, are we going to have to cut staffing? Are we going to have to cut programs? So many things that kind of we get stuck in the political storms of what happens through legislature, and what we really want to do is focus on kids. And so if I could wave that wand, it would be about a real consistent, clear, transparent school funding that is stable and that we can then simply focus on what matters most, and that's on the education and the growth of our students.
I think if there's one thing I could change, it would be our community engagement in our meetings and things. You see a lot of people talk online and a lot of comments about what we do or the decisions we make as elected officials in city government, and I don't see many people coming to our meetings. And so you don't have to just have a public comment period to come to our meetings. You can speak to us about anything that's on our agenda that night. And so I hope people know that. It would be really great to hear from more people so that we know, are we making the decisions that represent what people want. One other thing I would say is to help people understand our form of government in Scottsbluff. It's different than Gearing, and so I think there's some unique aspects to that, and I think it would be helpful if people understood that.
Okay, if I had some magic, I would also choose community engagement to use it on. I think we've recently changed our focus at the city to take care of the people that are already in our community. And I think you see that with the progress that we've made in our parks. And so we have this idea that if we take care of the people that are already here, that people will want to be here, they want to be in the city of Scottsbluff or in the area, and we'll start to naturally grow. We've always done it through our economic development efforts, trying to attract industry. But I really believe that we need to get the community engaged and get them involved in what we do. So that's going to be our focus. We will still continue with our economic growth efforts, and those are important to us. But we'll see where we go. We hope we start to grow.
Well, I think if all of us can wave a magic wand, funding would be on the top. But I think what we would do with tourism is we would have everybody actually be able to see what beauty we have here and the people, because we constantly hear, today we had a couple in from down south, and they said, "God, I can't believe how beautiful it is." And I'm like, well, it's dry and everything's brown. But we do have so much natural beauty around, and people, it's the people that keep coming back. One of the things that we're doing with Scottsbluff County Tourism is that we are starting our strategic plan, working with the Gearing Visitors Bureau, Twin City Developments, our attractions, to be able to kind of set forth a path, review what we did in the past, and see what else that we can do to get people to come here. We're also looking for another visitor center. There's been a couple in the state, most notably Kearney. If you've been to a conference in there, that whole Giannis complex, I think he's just taking over the world. But they've got a beautiful visitor center there, and so that's one of the things that we've been working on, and a couple of our board members have really kind of taken that to heart. On a state level, and I do want to remind everybody, if you may or may not know, but the money that comes in for tourism is not sales tax, it's not property tax, it's not income tax, it's all lodging tax. So there's an extra 4% that's tacked on to your hotel room. 3% of that stays here locally within the county, and then 1 goes to the state. The state has done so well that we've actually improved, or we have more money than that we have the authority to spend. But in 2018, we were 50th. We ranked 50th in county or in this, in people's minds. People didn't even consider coming to Nebraska as a tourism, for a tourism destination, and now we're in the high 30s, so a lot of improvement
Okay,
there.
now that's time. I wanted to know where we were, so give me a couple extra.
I drew that out a little.
I appreciate that.
If I had a magic wand and could fix one thing in our community, it would be poverty. And the thing to know about poverty is 18.2% of our families with children ages 5 to 17 live in poverty. It's almost 1 in 5. Our free and reduced lunch percentage at the school is 64%, and of that, 54% are free. Now, what does that mean? It affects attendance. When we look at chronic absenteeism, the biggest driver across all of the different factors is poverty. And if you're worried about what you're going to eat tomorrow, or if you don't have a reliable car, or there's so many things that impacts. And when you can't get yourself to school, it makes it harder for us to educate those kids. And fortunately, there are two positive lights in that. First of all, for the district, due to the generosity of our community, money's not a problem. There are no barriers to children and students to do anything they want to do. If they want to take dual credit classes at WNCC, money is not a problem for them. If they want to get an internship or participate in sports, money is not an issue for them. So that is a way that we can give that back to our community. And secondly, education is one of the strongest paths out of poverty. So if you can surround these kids with good role models, with good internships, with good jobs, support them, encourage them, we really fight to not let any kids drop out. I mean, that is a real battle. We don't believe that we have programs and we can help you. So we don't want kids dropping out. We want them engaged. We want them educated. We want them to be contributing, and we want them to have good jobs, and that's what we want. So that's my magic wand.
Great, thank you so much. If you look out the door right there, that's my son, Ashton. He set up a table selling magic wands. So